So I just want to preface this video by acknowledging that this isn't exactly news. As a matter of fact, it's actually been published since about late May, and I'm just a little late to the game. We just completed the most recent round of mid-cycle performance reviews, and I figured better late than never. It's not so much the news that I want to discuss, but the implications. As you've probably read in the title and the thumbnail, the video is about the increase to the number of employees Meta will now place in the below expectations bucket. Across the board, the target used to be 12 to 15%, but now it's been bumped to 15 to 20%. While overall not a massive increase, I think it paints a picture of what's to come at Meta and where the company's going. For some context, I believe in what must have been at this point 2021 or 2022, the company switched to doing yearly performance cycles. They used to be every 6 months, but it was increased to 12 to quote unquote allow engineers to focus on more long term impact. This definitely was not the end result, and people still play the same PSC games as they did before, but that's a whole nother video for another day. While official ratings are only provided at the end of a year, we still do a mid-year check-in as a pulse check of how the year is going so far. We still go through the same process of requesting feedback and writing a packet, but now you can only get one of 3 ratings: below expectations, at or above expectations, or significantly above expectations. These ratings are meant to be an indicator of the direction that you're trending, and officially they're not meant to affect your year's end performance rating, but the reality is that this isn't the case. It's not meant to lock you into a particular rating, but in practice, it seems like it makes it very, very difficult to break out from the rating that you're trending towards if you get a below expectations. You damn near have to bust your ass and have a crazy strong H2 to get anything higher than a meets all. You can definitely recover the situation and not get a meets most, but it seems like they're using BE ratings from mid-cycle as a negative towards your end year rating. All of this is technically speculation on my part from what I've gathered from anecdotal evidence of others. So do take it with a grain of salt, but I definitely do lean heavily towards actually believing this than the official company narrative. Now that we have some basic context of how mid-cycle evaluations work, let's return to the overall theme of the video, which is the increase in the percentage of people getting below expectations ratings. This really isn't something surprising given the recent history of the company, and it's really to be expected. I think we're starting to see a shift from the company to be more ruthless and out for blood. The days of cutting people some slack and having some built-in flexibility in the system seems to be fading out. Maybe it's the pressure to win the AI race, or we've just gone full megacorp profits over everything. Regardless of what's actually motivating the change, it's obvious and apparent to anyone working there that they're tightening the screws. The heat is being turned up and employees are being squeezed that little bit harder. Partly from management and partially from the social pressure of not wanting to fall behind and thus forcing ourselves to work more and more. I don't think these changes are temporary. It's just the norm now, and I'm also not convinced that creating an environment where every employee essentially has a sword dangling over their heads will actually net something positive in the long term. But the days are here where you can just hire and fire at the drop of a hat, so it doesn't really matter. Projecting this forward, we're probably going to see another round of layoffs in early 2026, a yearly cull of the bottom 10 to 15%. Similar to what Netflix does or did. I'm really not up to date with their hiring practices these days, but there's now a constant fear that if you mess up, stumble for just one half, that could be it, out on your ass and unemployed. As someone who has been at Meta for a long, long time, it's not nice to see the company go down this road, but here we are. I don't think things are going to change. People often ask me at the end of interviews what it's like to work at Meta. Is it still a nice place? I still default to my usual answer of yes and can list off some of the pros of working here, but the more I think about it, a lot of what the company used to be has eroded away. It's lucky that the stock has also been rising in tandem with all of these increases in performance and layoffs, otherwise the situation would truly be dire. Rising pressure and falling compensation. Isn't that a recipe for a good workplace? I suppose I want to end with the question of what is one meant to do in this situation? How should one navigate these strange times of the company? Well, I suppose that we should just focus on the things that we can control. Focus on playing the game as well as you can. And it's a shame that people need to do this in order to get by, and that it's easier to just game the system than to actually do good work. It seems that if a project is not flashy enough or high visibility enough, people just don't want to do it. And ultimately, that's not a sustainable thing from an engineering standpoint. Shipping loads of terrible code just to chase impact consequences be damned. But if the alternative is a bad rating and a severance package, then you already know which road engineers are going to take out of self-perseverance. There's still a treasure chest of information and experience to be gained at Meta. For those that want to make the most of the opportunity, it's there for the taking. It's still a top company with fantastic opportunities for development, both technical and career-wise. But we do have to understand that the game is different now. The rules have changed, and we need to adapt or we'll be left behind. It's getting harder and harder to get by, the water is rising. Things are cutthroat, people will throw each other under the bus, and engineers are being just that little bit more defensive about collaborations and sharing their projects. Everyone wants to hoard the impact for themselves. Like I said, the screws are tightening, but also, as they say, if you can't take the heat, well, get out of the kitchen. I think I'll leave it there for now. I'll continue to keep an eye on the situation and report back if something of note changes. We're playing a high-stakes game now, but I know I'm not the only one who's thinking this. Sometimes, just knowing that others are in the same boat and they're thinking and feeling the same thing is enough to push us through the tough times. To all of us at Meta, we're all in this together. Good ratings, bad ratings, we're all in the same ship. Let's smash it in H2 and see what Zuck has in store for us. What are your thoughts on the entire situation at Meta? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.